Hi, this is Doug, and I'm here with Doug, and I'll be speaking with Doug today until we have a very special guest star for you. We have German Mike, and I want to do special effects and everything and have smoke and puff and all this stuff, but he refused.
I'm coming. Okay,
so we have German Mike in our non-high-tech way. Okay.
Hey, welcome back. Anyone?
Awesome. Everybody gets to see the German.
All right.
It's a little slow in April. Ever since the CEOs had to start signing those their actual quarterly reports.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're really slow. We were really busy in April about 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
2
for
years.
like the first 6 or 7 years.
That's true.
We started in September after Labor Day, right? Everybody closed down the house in the Hamptons, right? And then trundles into the city, and we were busy, right?
Yeah.
And until right about Christmas. Then Christmas started getting a little early.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. Everything is now a little bit more compact. Like we have months where we are extremely busy.
Yeah.
And then we have months
Well,
where...
do you know what happened? Is the conferences didn't go away. So you still have to tune in to us. Some days you're going to get a whole lot more of us, right? And some days...
Yeah, like 20 shows a day.
Yeah, you're going to hang out. Because the conferences didn't go away. They just moved to May. We do still have SunTrust.
Which is tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow,
and the day after.
and like half a day the day after.
Mm-hmm.
Day and a half in a row, Tyler's going to be wiping his little forehead. We got a day and a half work out of him,
That's tough for him.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a full week's work.
Yep. We have SunTrust, and it's at wsw.com/webcast/STRH19.
Can you read that with your eyes?
Yeah, barely like this. If I ever get a decent CTO in here, I might give you able to get a screen
Okay.
that you can actually see.
We'll put an ad on Craigslist. Then.
That's right. If you happen to be watching this and you can make a screen that I can see, you're hired.
Whining away.
Imagine, what are the odds of that?
Oh, I want to tell you, I did my taxes this
Yes,
weekend.
you did. Yes, you did.
And I came across, obviously, I have to list all the stocks that I bought and sold.
How'd
And
that
I
work
was
out?
quite happy with the gains that I had last year.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's such a shame that the year ended December 31st and didn't end like
Right.
April
No, 'cause
15th.
now you get the little losses in there.
Exactly. I could apply all the losses that I had since then.
I know.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
If any of you are hiring for pizza delivery men, please click the feedback button and let us know, because right at the moment, Finley's at 35 cents, which puts me down only $12,101.
Oh, wow. There we go.
We're looking for a comeback on them any day now.
Yeah, but your other stocks are doing pretty well. So
We did
not
well.
really
A DSW, I'm getting just absolutely raped in. All the girls that are on
But that will come back up. I mean,
shop
that's
at DSW.
just
I'm going to add more.
temporarily.
They're down to 11.50 today, right? Now, here's goes another thing. Right now, it's nice to have you on. I can actually
Okay.
we can talk about
Well,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, in case of DSW, it's really, they didn't change anything. They didn't change their model or anything. It's really just, is that market? No, it's not really market. Market is
It's
flat
not
now.
real-
I don't
yeah,
really,
mean, retail sales were just up. They announced this morning for
Yeah.
last month.
so I'm not really sure what's going on with DSW. It might just be, general performance
You know what?
fluctuations.
I'm reading Dick Davis' book now. Remember he interviewed in Twist, and I said I loved him.
Oh, that guy. Okay, yeah.
And
Mhm.
he wrote a book, and he's like 76 years old or 80 years old, and he wrote it by like longhand. He didn't use a computer, so it took him a little while, right? But it's a great book. And you know what he says is stuff that we've been talking about, right? Which I think is just like an innate truth, where he says, at the end of the day, the media are going to put out X amount of stories, right? And because they need to make their money to buy Greenpeace T-shirts.
It's not quite like that, but yeah, I can
They're a
see
whole
how
liberal
they need to.
crap. So anyhow, he said they just assign whatever they think is the reason why to it. So they'll say like, the Dow was down today because.
Yeah, I can see how that happens.
And some piece of news comes out, and so they say the Dow was down, investors sold off because, and that's not really the case, right? And people that don't know, or regular average folks, right, that are watching, don't have the time to put in 8 hours to investigate what happened in the market, and so they read this stuff, and they read, and they don't realize they're just putting out stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I
I don't
still
know.
think it's up to the reader to come to their own conclusion.
It is,
You know,
it is, but I think people just trust institutions, right?
like
and so-
blindly.
Yeah,
Just-
you know,
okay.
the Dow's up.
Yeah, I can see
we're
that
doing
too.
this about 2:45, and the Dow's up 9 points, right?
Which is nothing.
Which
It's
is
like
flat. Now, last week when it was down 30 points, it was torpedoed, right? And that was
Ah.
by Associated Press,
Mm-hmm.
who we know are liberal and lied to you and mislead all of you. And it costs you money because they scare you. When they tell you retail sales are horrible, you don't go out and spend, right? And
It's
you, and
still
you
a little
live
bit shaky. Everyone
you live in
is
fear.
very afraid. Absolutely. I
Everybody's
agree.
very afraid, but they're afraid, and the Dow's up 9 points, right? That's flat.
That is flat. I mean,
And it's nothing, right?
but I can see if the Dow is going down just a little bit, everyone is just so afraid. Oh yeah, this is another 300-point drop. You know.
Yeah,
So
but they're scaring you.
Very
you know,
volatile.
Warren Buffett. I read this quote in Dick Davis' book, right? Which I don't get commission on. I just tell you the truth, you know. And I thought it was good. And he said, if you can't afford to lose 50%, if you can't afford for your stocks to go down 50%, and for you to hold on to it or do whatever you're going to do, right?
then you shouldn't.
You shouldn't be in the
stock
market.
Mhm.
Because
That's
this is
probably
supposed
true.
to be money that's either speculative or money that's long term that you're in and you say, I'm looking for a good company. You know, another one he says is like,
That was the whole idea to begin with, right?
Right.
The long-term.
right, it wasn't
investment.
supposed to be all this. I have 700 stocks that I'm going to talk about, and you should buy every one of them.
Yeah.
Or just pick the ones you like and buy. You know?
Yeah.
And it's really gotten away from that, and it's kind of schizophrenic, right?
I think all the not only day traders but like the average Joe that's putting the money in contributed a lot to this kind of behavior.
They did, but it's trading not with. I did a fun. I like this company. I like my wife buys all her shoes there. My mistress buys all her shoes there. Right? You know?
Which you don't have.
Well, no, I'm talking about you.
Oh, okay.
You know? Right. The three people that I work with buy all their shoes there. I saw two women on the weekend. And
I heard only good things. I asked women about it.
so do I. But it used to be like, so I think they have a good business, so I'll buy them. You know, and I still try to apply that. I try to use my reason, and I try to use what the conclusions I draw from talking to people.
And
right?
you try to figure out how the competitors are, if people really like the competitors as much.
Right.
And
And that's what I try to do. But I think too many people now are jumping in and out, and they see
That's true.
things, and they hear things, and they hear like, oh, retail's going to be horrible. Retail's doing horrible.
Yeah, and shoes are retail, so
That must be terrible,
yeah.
right? Consumers don't have any money. Except, do you know what? You guys are you're getting fed lies. I mean, it's out and out lies. You know, they're lying to you. When they told you all that was horrible, retail sales were up last month. That's the government figures. They can't lie. Okay? They can be stupid, but they can't lie. And retail sales were up. Okay? And then you heard about joblessness, and we're in a horrible recession, and the world's crumbling. And
I think they're doing pretty good, right?
last week, the jobless claims were down 53,000.
Oh,
Now,
that's a lot, actually.
it's an awful lot. Usually the swing might be 18,000 this way,
Right.
30,000
Right.
that way.
So that's not a swing, that's a definite decline. at this
Oh
point.
yeah, it's a huge one, right? The numbers that they use have always been the same. I've been listening to it for 20 years, right? And they try to make
So
a big thing out
that
of it.
indicates that we're not in a recession, clearly. So that-
I mean, you know, if you listen to economists, and economists are, of course, worthless, right? Every economist you've ever met is a failure or a coward because they're afraid to do it. If they knew something, they would do it, right?
But
And they would
unemployment is a good indicator for recession or not. So this
Yes, it is. It is for the common sense definition, right? Believe me, there's no economist. I only want economists who are worth $100 million. I think, you know, if you knew what's going to happen and you can make good forecasts, you would make the money, right?
right, that's true.
You know, so I don't think they know. You know, it's like a doctor. No doctor dies of a disease that he can cure. None, right? No economist is walking around as a poor slob because they know everything about how to make money, but they don't. Okay, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
and that's what I think. You know, I saw good news today. Verizon is coming to New York City. They moved a step closer.
Fios, you mean? Or?
Yes. Oh, the Weisenheimer has. He's one of our big watchers and fans.
Oh, wow.
Has Fios, and he rubs my nose in it about once every 3 emails.
And he has Fios too.
That's what I mean. You know, he tells me that they're better. You know, and we know they're better. Time Warner stinks so much, and I saw they're suing Time Warner. Thank you. I told them to start suing in November. It only took them 6 months.
Yeah.
I have a little spare time. Maybe I'll start running Verizon in my free time. I'm sleeping like 3 hours a night now. I can cut that down. You know?
Yeah, you only need an hour, right?
I saw they're suing them because in New York, I don't know what you guys get in the way of television, right? But we get commercials endlessly for Time Warner, and they have like these total lies, right, in their commercials about how they have fiber, and they make fun of Verizon offering fiber. Verizon brings fiber to your home. You plug in a piece of cable that uses fiber, and then you get super fast uploads and downloads.
And Time Warner claims they are using fiber.
And they do
for a long
use
time.
fiber on the backbone.
About, right?
The same fiber that Ma Bell used, you know, 10 years ago to make a phone call. But that's not the same, and it means nothing to you. And they were running deliberately misleading commercials so that people that aren't technical, like our Mike, that don't know, would be totally misled. Like, you know, if you're a regular guy and you don't work in the internet, right? And you see these commercials and they're making fun of Verizon's offering. Well, Verizon's offering is actually somewhere around 7 million times better than Time Warner's offering.
Plus, they offer dedicated bandwidth, whereas with Time Warner, you're sharing your bandwidth with whoever is in your building or like, whoever to the next hop.
This is what I do. I live on the Upper East Side. I get raped on rent, right? I pay a fortune for a shoebox, right? You know.
I have no problem with my Time Warner cable.
Yeah, okay. You live in a building with 3 other people, okay? I live in a building with 600 other people. And you know what I did on the Xbox this weekend?
Yeah, I can see that.
I had to, every time I guess somebody else connects to the internet, I get disconnected. I only pay $50 a month or something for it, right? Or whatever. I don't know how much. But quite a lot. And I had to jump up, disable my network on the computer, jump up, turn off the Xbox, unplug the router, plug it back in, unplug the wireless router, plug that back in, and start over in 3 minutes.
With a handy DOS command you can type in flush DNS.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter because it still gets disconnected. It's not a technical problem on my side. It's Time Warner stinks. You know? And oh God,
it's a bad experience. And the bad thing is you don't really have alternatives.
I have no alternative. I have no alternative. Let me tell you something. Time Warner is screwing everybody in New York City. If you have them, unless you live like Mike with 3 other people, you know, you are just screwed, man. I mean, my internet in Pennsylvania was better, and that was 10 years ago. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Horrible.
Which, by the way, we're at 13 minutes already. We need to cut this.
All right, let's cut this, and we'll come back, and we'll do it.
All right, well, I have to run over since we're the only people in the office.
But we're the only ones working.
All right. Any closing remarks, Doug?
WSMCO.com. You can come see us. We're here every day. We have Super German Mike on. We have SunTrust later this week. We'll have CEO highlights, CEO video, and all kinds of interesting stuff.